Hey guys, this is Berge Entertainment, and we're here to give you tips on how to increase your YouTube channel's popularity. We have 10 tips we're going to demonstrate for you, so sit back and enjoy. Tip number 1, speak in an Australian accent.
We are here at the Perth Motorplex.
It is that time of the month where Laserbeam makes children cry on Roblox.
This is crucial, because if you're not using an Australian accent, or if you don't have a friend who's using an Australian accent, it means that you'll definitely not be famous. Which brings us to rule 1.5. When everything grows to crap, have an Australian friend. Very helpful. Tip number 2, make great content. It's very important to make great content in your videos, because if you don't have great content in your videos, no one's going to care if your video has 10,000 views. I highly recommend making content like this.
Subscribe!
Tip number 3, play Fortnite. If you don't play Fortnite, you will be a loser and thus will not be famous. Tip number 4, a very useful tip I might say. Dance like a winged lunatic for the whole world to see, half naked. The benefits are just so obvious, like, why would I even need to explain? Tip number 6. Tip number 6, be yourself. It's important to be yourself. It's important to be yourself when you're making these videos. Be yourself. It's important to release content without any obviously faked and or poorly staged performances. If you are a miserable scum of the earth maniac, I highly recommend be a scum of the earth maniac. That way you can make friends with other scum of the earth maniacs, especially if they're Australian. Then your content will be genuine. Then you will be free to celebrate like a winged lunatic half naked. Tip number 7, have data or Wi-Fi. Because if you don't have data or Wi-Fi, never mind. Tip number 8, use hashtags to promote your content, such as hashtag Fortnite or hashtag maniac without a shirt. Obviously, these hashtags will increase your popularity because, obviously. Tip number 9, if you struggle with anxiety, I highly encourage you to violently scream into your camera or computer mic like a screeching eel. It is important that the only thing the viewer will hear for the rest of his or her life is the sound of digital distortion. Tip number 10, follow all of YouTube's guidelines. Follow all of YouTube's guidelines. The most important ones being, only half nakedness allowed, don't be a criminal, forest fires make pyrocumulus clouds, and kids. If you adhere to these guidelines, you will automatically inherit 0.051 of 1,000 views, and thus you will become famous. So, in conclusion, if you take these tips seriously and use them to your advantage, you'll be the greatest YouTuber of all time. Make me proud and work in a factory until you're 90. This is Berge Entertainment. Happy YouTubing. That really hurt my voice.